back to Maidencast. No, we're recording now. I just did the introduction and I think we had a 5-second delay there. But welcome to Maidencast, episode 6. And this week we are taking a break from the Maiden boys and we're going to see what Paul DiAnno got up to after leaving.
Yeah. That's why I didn't give the horns, because there's no horns this week. I refuse.
I think we're giving a bit of a spoiler here. So, yes, released in 1984. I thought you think that this. What's most interesting about this is I thought he would have just bounced back with something else, but it actually seemed like he actually took a bit of a break from music.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. Unless he was whoever his management was at the time, they said to him, look, stay clear for a while and let the ground settle, rather than come out and look like you're competing. Yeah,
it's an odd one. Some people sort of go one ahead. I suppose timing has a lot to do with it as well. I don't know, but I suppose what you tend to do is, if you leave a band for whatever reason, if there's normally when there's a fallout, you kind of take a step back and see what people think is wrong with that band.
Yeah, then
you give them the version of that band's. Prime example is Megadeth. I'm just going to move my fingers. There seems to be a bit of a glare of the light. Yeah, so the prime example is Megadeth. When Dave got fired from Metallica, he backfired with Megadeth, and it was basically, well, take that. It was the counterpunch. Yeah. So it's like, no, I'm going to do what Metallica did, but I'm going to be twice as technical, twice as heavy, twice as fast. Yeah. Fuck you, and in another way, different circumstances, but the same sort of setup was when David Lee Roth was fired, left. Depends.
Whatever you believe, yeah.
Yeah, it depends who you read.
Yeah, bringing that up. Just want to say, respect to the legend, master, Eddie Van Halen. Rest in power, brother.
Of course, yeah. Well, we can discuss. We'll have a little chat about Eddie later, I think. But what many people believe, the first David Lee Roth solo album. Help me out, Luke. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't actually, because I never really dug
Eat
David
One
Lee Roth.
And Smile.
Anyway,
it just Eat One and Smile, which was basically it was considered the greatest Van Halen album Van Halen never released, because he basically because he saw where they were going and went, right, people don't want that. People want a party, fun album. And that's basically what he did. He basically just formed another band and basically carried on the formula. And I think Paul DiAnno would have been wise to have done that, gone, right, let's have a look.
Which is why his later stuff, I imagine, does follow that formula.
A little bit. But I think what he should have come back with was, well, basically an Iron Maiden album, like Iron Maiden and Killers, with a bit of bit more heaviness, I suppose. I really do think he should have jumped on the thrash train as well. I mean, by the time Power Slave came out,
thrash.
Metallica were well up and running by then, weren't they? I mean, just trying to get my dates in line here. I mean, when was the first?
Exodus were fucking. Exodus had just released what many people consider to be the greatest thrash album of all time.
Yeah,
and Metallica had already got bored of thrash and did Ride the Lightning.
Yeah. Well, there's the thing with Exodus, just on another tangent.
Anthrax were 85, weren't they? So
yeah. Well, Bonded by Blood was actually fully recorded and finished, but it was actually delayed by a year. So it had already kind of gone round the tape trading circuit before it was officially released. So Metallica kind of got one ahead with releasing Kill 'Em All, but Bonded by Blood was already done and out, and everyone had already sort of heard it. So this light is pissing me off. I need to. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so So what Paul decided to do was nothing like that. He didn't take my advice at all. and decided to do a sort of new wave pop.
Oh, yes, it's a bit of everything in there. Well, a bit of everything that was around at the time. I mean, you've got it's proto cock rock as well, hair metal, whatever you want to call it. There's some of that in there. It's weird.
Well, I would call it AOR, and
yeah, but that's an insult to AOR, though, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, for AOR, for me, just so we're all, so you know what I mean, it's basically radio friendly rock music. It's
adult orientated rock, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
Heavy metal in its lightest form. It's heavy metal that you could play to your aunt and not get too. But AOR is a genre. You can look up.
Love it.
Yeah, top 10 AOR, and there is a formula to it, and there is a. It's not quite as easy to write as people probably think. I mean, I think one band for me that really sticks out, a great song as well, is a band called Dare. Abandon. You heard that?
No.
I love that track. Trust me, you will want to put it on, and you will just be like, right, I'm gonna start training boxing.
Yeah.
And a montage will start in your head right there. You'll just start running down the street randomly, high-fiving people.
Well, it goes into what you say. It's not easy to write, and that's why so many bands like Bon Jovi and Kiss have collaborators. You know, people basically songwriters. They pay professional songwriters to fucking do it for them. Well, but to contribute, not do it for them because they don't, but they contribute, a lot of ideas and stuff that the bands can't quite get. So yeah, like you say, it's not easy to write at all. But the best music never is.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's what he was going for.
Yeah. Yeah, whether he made a conscious decision to do it, or whether management or label went, you know what, let's have a crack at this. Let's try and make a bit of dough. And
I had a quick read of his autobiography. Excuse me, which is the greatest book ever.
The only autobiography that's ever listed in the fucking or the musician's biography that's listed in the crime biology is like a crime biography.
In the true crime, hard bastard section in W.H. Smith's. Although I do think a lot of them put it there mistakenly because it has got that.
I see the front cover. Yeah. They make the mistake you're never supposed to make, and they're judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
They learn nothing at school.
But I think Paul. I think he's. We met him briefly, and I think he's a bit of a gentle giant. I think. I think he sparks. He sparks worse than his bite, and I think underneath it all, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, no, he's a Cockney geezer, isn't he? When his entourage wanted to shuffle him out the door, he was like, "No bollocks! I'm going to sign all these records, and I'm going to speak to these people."
Yeah.
So fair play to the guy. I've got not bad word.
I mean, he's not always done himself favours in the public eye.
The only bad word I've got to say is he's making me listen to this fucking album.
Yeah. I say he's not always done himself favours, but then again, none of us have. And in his position, I probably would have done fucking twice as bad. So
yeah.
So I guess we'll get into the music and
music.
What do you think?
Hang on, we got to discuss the fucking album cover first, mate. I mean, we talk about Eddie's and all these great album covers, then we get this fucking this work of art with a capital F. Year-old. It's like
it's not even an art. It's just them standing in a.
Yeah, I'm on about the logo, the iconic logo that everyone knows a logo, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? Done together at the last minute.
Oh right, yeah. I'm just looking at the album cover now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking hell.
Apparently, it got to number 1 in Japan, which that's normally the last.
Well, that would have sold basically on his name, wouldn't it? They just not long done Made in Japan, had they? Obviously, when he left, so Japanese fans would have been clamouring for anything to do with him, I would have thought.
Japanese music fans tend to be quite loyal anyway, and they do tend to sort of form sort of cult followings of I think a lot of albums get shipped there. So like normally when an album doesn't do very well here, it can't just get shipped in Japan.
Well, no,
they sort of finds its own little life.
It's basically what started the bonus track thing, because where they couldn't get them, they used to fucking import them or buy them off bootleggers. So they had to start. The bands were losing out on money, so they had to start releasing the albums with an extra track you couldn't get anywhere else other than Japan.
Yeah.
That's why special editions have taken that place now. But there was a load of stuff back in the day. You could only get that song in Japan.
You still get Japanese even today. I've just got Testament's new album because it comes with a live album. Found one on eBay. All of Onslaught's albums come with a bonus track, and it's normally an old track re-recorded.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that in the last thing I said about the whole re-recording thing.
Yes.
I think Onslaught nailed it. I went, nah, we'll do it like that. But but apparently it did well in Japan. It didn't sell too bad for the time, although I do suspect that was mainly people buying it due to curiosity.
Yeah.
Apparently they supported Thin Lizzy.
Fucking hell.
And did a headline tour. There's a video on YouTube of them headlining. I'm assuming it's a headlining show because it's an over-hour set. I mean, a fucking support band doesn't do an hour, does it?
No.
At the Camden, bollocks. It's not the Camden Palace. Is it the Camden Palace? Where we saw Testament.
Coco.
Yeah, it used to be called the Camden Palace.
Yeah, the old theatre.
Yeah.
The old point down. Yeah.
The Bon Scott was there the night he died. Apparently, that's where he was on his last night. But yeah, it's them playing that. So they must have pulled off an half decent crowd. But yeah, it was short lived.
Yeah, it was one and done, wasn't it? I mean, it weren't even the band. I mean, I was reading up into it. They weren't even supposed to be called DiAnno. Apparently, they were supposed to be called Lone Wolf.
Apparently, it was the record label.
Another band called Lone Wolf.
And the record label said to do it under DiAnno.
Yeah, because they obviously sensed the cash grab. They were like, look, we've got to capitalise on your name. Everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
What it says to me.
And Dylan, Dio.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Apparently, he refused to play any Maiden songs on the tour, which apparently obviously would have pissed the crowd right off, especially people who don't like Bruce. They would have been like, we can hear DiAnno singing the songs that we love. But he's like, no, bollocks, I ain't going to do it. This is me now. So I think fair play to him, because that's a bold move.
Well, fucking hell, yeah, it certainly went the other way, didn't it?
Yeah.
And he fell into a trap of being where that was all he could play.
Yeah, but I think he probably got burnt on this.
Yeah.
He probably thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to stick to my safety, like my comfort zone, and just re-record the first two albums for the next 20 years.
It's a bit of an odd one, really. I'd like to maybe ask him, because Blaze seems to find the perfect balance.
Yeah,
because he obviously he's reformed Wolfsbane now, so he's like, right, that's Wolfsbane sorted, and his live sets. I mean, in all fairness, I don't suppose his Iron Maiden albums aren't quite as revered as Paul's, much to the public's wrong thing there, but he did kind of build it from the ground up with Blaze, and then the subsequent solo albums.
You should say that. I was having a row on Metal Hammer's Facebook page today, because where nothing's happening, they're recycling old articles. Yeah. And one of them was like the story of Brave New World, and basically the headline they used for the article was it's like the 90s never happened. And I was like, that pissed me off, because I was like, look, anyone who'd actually given the X Factor a chance wouldn't make that statement, because the X Factor contains some of, we'll get there obviously when we review it, but for me it contains some of Maiden's finest music, and you had the usual lot of people going, oh no, it's a load of shit, and it's like, oh, stop it. You know, he just doesn't get he doesn't get the love. But I like what Blaze did, because he galvanised it and went, oh, fuck it, I'm going to go out and do my own shit. And how many fucking albums has he done?
I think he's coming up to 10 now.
Fair play to the geezer, you know?
Yeah, his 9th album was last year, and that was a trilogy, like a concept trilogy. Yeah. And I even said in my review, because he went, this is a concept album and it's going to be a trilogy. And I thought, well, that's it. Blaze is going to die. because no one ever completes a fucking trilogy.
He'll get dropped or whatever.
Yeah, but he did it the right way. He literally just went album, 100 gigs.
Yeah.
Straight into the studio, album, 100 gigs.
Yeah, he
album.
But he fucking he don't rely on the label though, does he? He plays it all himself, doesn't he? Like the merch sales and all that shit.
He's a crowdfund, but it's mainly he puts up a pre-order.
Yeah.
And he does like a Die Hard edition where it's like a private seminar, like webinar thing. It give you a tour around the studio. He gives you a load of signed shit and so it's like, right, here's the basic edition, here's a special edition. If you like, it's something like £100 or something, or not that much, but that will be like constant updates, exclusive stuff. One of the albums as well came with he did the first album in full just once because it's got choirs in it and orchestras and it's actually got narration as well. So War of the Worlds he did base it on.
Oh, right, cool.
So he had actors on stage doing the spoken word bits and that, and he said like doing it as a tour would just be impossible. So I just did one show. Yeah. And the Die Hard edition of one of the other ones got the DVD, exclusive DVD of that show. Little things like that is worth, he gives people, but that's what funds the albums. Yeah. But it's got a great little setup he's got actually, because not a lot of artists would kill for it because he literally has it all circulating around. It's quite clever. So anyway, we better get on with the review.
We put it off. Long enough.
Right. So opening track.
And by the way, if anyone out there who actually listens to this actually likes this album, I apologise because I'm going to put my unadulterated viewpoint on it. So just take it for what it is.
I've got to admit I've actually started to quite like it.
Yo, it's Stockholm syndrome, mate. It's it's what happens when you spend too much time with your kidnapper.
I think it was because I was listening when I do this now. Even when doing the metal show with Gully and Joe, I would listen to an album at least once a day. Had to, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I always got to the point where songs would be in my head when I woke up, and I thought, right now I'm ready for the review. And I've been waking up, September together. I
mean, I wasn't professional with this one. When you said we were doing it, I listened to it briefly on Spotify about fucking a month ago, and it was like, oh my fucking god, first time I'd ever heard it. And I've put it off, and literally fucking like 11 o'clock last night. That's when I text you saying I hate you. Because it was like I just fucking, fuck's sake. But I wanted to like it.
I even watched the concert. That's how dedicated I've been.
I didn't want to be that guy, but because I like albums that no one else likes, I'll always go for the album that everyone canes or whatever. But I couldn't with this, I mean, fucking hell. And I didn't even realise it was only when I was about 8 songs in. I realised that Spotify was on shuffle, so I wasn't even doing them in the right order. So I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to tell me what track listing it is because I've got them written down all wrong. So
the first track is
Flaming Heart.
Flaming Heart, yeah.
Flaming Heart. Fucking hell! What terrible production. Terrible musicianship. I mean, even Paul sounds hideous. Absolutely hideous on it. His voice isn't suited for this style of music for me, and he's really straining and struggling to get there. And oh fucking hell, it was a horror show from first second for me.
I'll just try and make some observations really about. It seems like the keyboards are the lead rather than.
Yes, I did notice that they are all over the songs, aren't they? They're like fucking posh, The
way the bass backs up the guitars are backing up the keyboard.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of riffing in here. It's all very.
Yeah, it's all just chords, isn't it? Like you say, the keyboards are playing the melodies and all that sort of stuff. Which it works.
Solos.
Bands,
yeah, there's a couple of solos here and there because a live band they were actually a 6-piece, and a couple of the every so often the guitarist would unleash the turkeys, as we say. Yeah. But yeah, it's just just pop.
Yeah, but it ain't even good pop, is it? You know, it ain't like, you know, everyone likes a bit of pop metal. You know, everyone secretly likes a fucking, you know, Bon Jovi's first album or whatever, or likes a bit of Foreigner or Journey and that. But
of Asia, yeah.
Bucks, yeah, you know, anything like that. If it's written well, don't matter what the fuck it is, it's good. But this is horrendous. You know, I couldn't find a redeeming feature in the first track whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I was laughing the first time I heard it, thinking, "Oh my god!" But I don't know. Just as the songs just started sticking in my head, and I ended up sort of singing along. Mind you, I don't know how often I'm going to listen to it after this. So I think I'm going to be. I enjoyed our time together, but let's leave it at that.
Well,
it's going to be a fling.
I'm going to have to close my Spotify account because this is forever going to be algorithmed into my fucking playlists, and it's like, oh no.
I'll tell you
what has happened.
Funny enough, I've never heard this album until this review. And also, did you lose me for a second there?
No, you're still going.
Some app come up saying, it's the one album in the whole Maiden canon that I don't own. I don't have a copy of it anywhere.
They're all buried in the desert with the Atari game ET.
Is that a game? I don't know.
Yeah,
is there an ET game?
A game on the Atari. You remember the Atari when it first came out, the 2600? When ET came out, they did a tie-in game, right? They fucking spent millions on it, and it was the biggest load of shit you've ever fucking clapped eyes on. And it literally sold like fucking 10 copies. And the rumor is that if you go out into a certain point in the desert in California or Nevada, wherever it is,
that what Area 51 really is? It's where they
and you start digging. You'll eventually hit a load of fucking Atari ET games because they just fucking put them in a landfill. This is where all the copies of this album are.
I bet you're one of those 10 people that bought it, though. If you stuck it on eBay, you get a couple of quid for it. The tie-in games are always shit, aren't they? It's very rarely you get a good one.
Yeah, they're all cash grabs, aren't they? Half-assed and all that.
Yeah. So, without any further delay... user.
All right.
A barracuda. She'll use you up. Throw your love away.
Yeah, I mean, lyrically, it's fucking terrible, but musically, this isn't actually too bad.
Yeah, this has got like a bit of an 80s. I see a stereotypical 80s video with like a woman in like a tight leather sort of dress skirt, like strutting down, big hair.
Like a Whitesnake video.
Yeah, and like them sort of leaning against the car watching her. And then it cuts to fucking Paul wearing a trench coat.
Yeah.
Going, who's that? Yeah,
leaning against the fucking Robin Reliant.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a hit single in here, Trying to Get Out, I think, with a bit more polish and that they could have actually had an half decent song. I did notice there's a Van Halen vibe going on here with this song.
Do you think? Yeah. I quite like the verse, the clean music during the verse. It's got kind of got like a strutty New York City nighttime.
Yeah, it's when you think they had a Van Halen, like a DLR, David Lee Roth, vibe going through it, which obviously what they've been influenced by because that's one they covered some Van Halen songs on the tour.
No, they didn't.
Right, or they covered the Kinks' "You Really Got Me," which was the Van Halen version of.
Yeah.
But
Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood by the Animals.
But no, I mean, like I say, musically it's not too sad. I should have put this on as the first track.
Yeah, okay. So, Here to Stay.
Hang about. Where did I get that? I've got that track 5. And I actually put, fucking ha ha ha, Here to Stay. Yeah, right. One and done, mate.
I can't remember if it's this one, but where I said the last song reminded me of like an 80s pop video. Other ones remind me of like imagine Dixon's or a shop that sells tellies and Wi-Fi equipment and home entertainment. Again, an 80s advert for one of them shops. Welcome to Thingy, where we buy the. And there's that little section in the corner where they had a computer all set up. You can just play a game. Doing when your mum and dad would be walking around and like you'd just be in the corner like that.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm trying to be fair, and
It's hard, isn't it? Because when something is this shit.
I just there's a couple of melodies that stick in
Yeah,
your head there and
all the way through it. There's a couple of ones where you think, oh fuck, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, and if a decent producer was there and could, like just sort of go no, like drop that, speed that up, and just rearrange it a bit.
There was no God in there at all, really.
Yeah. That's another thing a good producer does as well. The sound is one thing, but they don't write the songs for you, but they will rearrange them and go, no.
That's the thing,
shuffle this round.
Case in point, Bob Rock. Look what he fucking did to the Metallica for the Black Album. He turned those songs. He put another train of thought into Hetfield's head, and they just went, you know.
The next one, The Runner. Again, this reminds me of 80s cop show. And
hello, you back, right?
Did you lose me there?
Yeah. Actually, when you said The Runner and you coughed, it looked like you was actually throwing up, which is a pretty good reaction to the drum intro on this song, really.
The
main riff's all right, but the keyboards kill it.
And again, it's a montage of a cop jumping over his bonnet, and then when it cuts to the actors, when they're introducing the actors, and they're like that.
Yeah.
And then it's got the actor's name, and then it comes on. Spilling his coffee or spitting a fag out, and then the comedy character at the end, like the very last one, just sort of going bumping up on. And it just reminds me of the opening of the shittest detective show in the somewhere between Miami Vice. Then there was T.J. Hooker.
Yeah,
and then
all that,
and then right low down, the one that didn't go beyond 3:00 in the afternoon.
It's like you say, it is a really bad American soundtrack, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and tell me, what can I do? I'm just so can't even finish it.
Yeah,
I'm just so in love with you. It's just, for fuck's sake.
They're hideous lyrics. I mean, they're not even, don't get me wrong. When a band writes a love song, writes a ballad, you get your White Snakes, your Def Leppard, your Bon Jovis, they write lyrics that you're like, fucking hell, those are really good lyrics. Yeah. But these, I mean, fuck's sake. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what possessed any of them to actually think this was a good idea.
I've never heard of anything from the other band members either. Like normally, like with Battle Zone and Killers.
Yeah, you see them
start looking into they've all got pretty good back catalogues as well. Like
beating the death after this come out.
Yeah, like you got like ex-Tank members and stuff like that. And I think one of the guitarists in Battle Zone. We'll have to cover it when we get to it, but one of them was in a pretty good band. It was like an up and coming band, and Paul grabbed him. But anyway, on to Tales of the Unexpected, which
intro weren't too bad on this. I quite like the intro.
Yeah,
quite mellow and that.
Bit of a dark, I like the chorus as well. I
like the chorus music, but I think Paul singing on this is fucking hell. It's horrendous. And I like Paul's voice because when we come to the other albums, his voice is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and it was awesome on the first two Maiden albums, but this is it's like they just fucking woke him up out of bed. Said, Paul, stop throwing up. You got to record. And just dragged him into the studio, and it's like, oh fucking hell.
He probably weren't throwing up. He was probably just in the bar having a. It's like, for fuck's sake, I've got to go sing now. Yeah, right. I just did it all in one go, and I went back out partying. I remember. I can send you a stream where they're debating about Paul DiAnno and who's the best singer.
Yeah.
And it's so funny the stuff they come out with. They're just fucking like caning both of them.
Yeah.
He was like, Bruce Dickinson's a fucking pro, man. He's a fucking thing. Paul DiAnno's a flat-footed motherfucker who couldn't make it in the army. Like just random shit that they had done. And then the other guy goes, yeah, well, fucking Bruce Dickinson's working around with his fucking multicolored tights like a fucking fruit, you know. At least Paul DiAnno used to sing songs about fucking prostitutes and doing drugs like a fucking man.
Fucking hell.
And this is like, fucking goes on for fucking ages, just throwing insults back and forth. None of it's an actual argument. It's just and just some of the lines they come out with, it's just like,
it sounds like fucking the white men can't jump.
Yeah.
But they're just caning each other there.
Yeah, did fucking songs about doing prostitutes and taking drugs like a fucking man. But anyway, right, Tales of the Unexpected is quite good, I guess.
Yeah, musically's all right. Like I say, DiAnno, the worst thing about it, they should have made it an instrumental, really. Because the music is all right.
Yeah. Right, on next is... Sorry, I just lost my page there. It's not Blade Runner. Why am I saying Blade Runner? Razor's Edge. There you go. Kind of like Blade Runner. But, yeah. What do you reckon on that?
It's another thing where there's music's all right. There's, a better producer or whatever, or better musicians would have made more of it. Because there's some good ideas there.
This was the song that they... So this is the song they open with.
Right. I actually got to this with my shuffle fucking thing on. It got to track 6, and that's when it hit me that DiAnno's voice just doesn't suit this style of rock music or rock pop music. It's not suited to it at all.
Yeah, and it is because it is like a proper pop song as well. It's just got a bit of dun, because it's like dun dun with the main thing going dun dun dun. It's a piano lead on the chorus, like, dun, 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 with just dun 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 dun. And it's like, and there's a you cannot run away, dun, and it's like this would probably be an all right song if Robert fucking Palmer was singing it.
Yes, I mean, better people with better ideas would have made it.
Yeah, like I say, if Phil Collins, something like that, would probably make like a bit more of a fucking radio song out of it. But it's
weird because, like, going back to what you said just now about you haven't heard from any of the other musicians. It's probably because Paul fucking walked into a bar and went, right, who can play guitar? Bass?
Probably what more likely happened is the record company just set him up with a load of session players and just went,
but the worst session players ever.
Yeah. And like I say, even he doesn't defend this album at all. Like, I've seen plenty of interviews where he just went, we tried doing this, it didn't work. And in his autobiography as well, he does say, look, it was an experiment. And he can't.
It's been so long since I've read it, I can't even remember.
He basically said, I wanted to do something different. And, the original concept was for DiAnno, if he's like, well, if it is going to be my name, I'm going to do something different.
Gone quiet, Joe. You've gone quiet, mate.
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's a bit better,
Yeah, he just said he wanted to do something different every album. But never fruition. So, Bright Lights, it's kind of more of the same, really.
Bright Lights, where did I get our track 4? Yeah, again, better people would have made more of it.
This is one of the ones where the chorus was in my head. I was waking up and I hear you. I was brushing my teeth. You call. Da, 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 da.
Using the toothbrush as a microphone.
Yeah. This one is a bit of an earworm. I don't know. I think I'm starting to get won over by this album. It's got a certain charm to it. I don't know. But,
you're dead to me.
I've always got that. I don't know. If something's a bit shit, I kind of like it because it's shit.
Yeah, there's an underdog thing and there's an underdog thing, but this ain't even that. You know, this is so far beyond the fucking pale, it ain't even funny.
Right, moving on to Lady Heartbreak. Did you even get that far?
I did, mate. I did. Track 9, I got this.
We're not that far from the end, actually. I think
Yeah, thank fuck. Yeah, I actually wrote my only notes on this. I've just reached saturation point. I don't care anymore. Yeah, it was like fucking hell.
Yeah, this hasn't got much going into it, really. No, yeah, it's just shit, basically.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fucking hell, you know. If you can't defend it, then fucking hell.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw
you're playing devil's advocate pretty well, but it's just
pretty yeah. And now we're on to Antigua, you
fucking heathen. It's in Bahamas, I think.
Oh, right.
But this is fuck. What the fuck is this? I mean, this is not even. You know, this is where they said, right, fucking forget hard rock, get something in the charts. And I
remember this one.
This sounds like a style of music, but it's not what I expect from DiAnno, man.
Sounds like a Pat Benatar song.
Yeah.
Another way. Dun, 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 bum, bum. Yeah, it's got that sort of bouncy thing during the verse. And in all fairness, in the little interlude bit, it's got quite a nice little melodic-y bit. But yeah, okay, all right. I know.
Yeah, stop it. I'm just going to stare at you till you stop.
And then, right, the last track, we made it. We made it.
Is it Road Rat?
Road Rat. And this was on...
Status Quo, mate, this was, when it fucking starts.
All right, on the concert, Paul DiAnno goes, do you want to do a bit of it, banging? And the whole fucking crowd is just like, oh, yeah, finally.
Yeah. Oh, sweet Jesus.
It gets a bit of crowd singing along in one pit as well.
Yeah, because they've had about 900 pints by then. But yeah, let's put it to bed. Yeah. Unless you've got anything to say, because I said like the best thing about it is it starts off like Status Quo and then just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to find where the crowd. I'm just watching the thing now. I can't find it. Maybe it ain't that one, but yeah. And yeah, that's DiAnno. So, should we conclude? It was a
fucking disaster. 0 out of 10. Everyone involved should be lashed to within an inch of their life, because it was a blatant record label attempt to cash in on the current style of music and the fact they've got the ex-Iron Maiden singer who are currently fucking topping charts around the world everywhere, and they saw a cash grab. And DiAnno probably needed an arm around his shoulder, and he got sucked into it for me. And you know, like I say, if he's sort of dismissive of it in his biography, you know, It just sounds like, you know, it was a mistake all round. And
it's one of his I think it's the live DVD. You know, the one in Poland.
Yeah.
In the interview of that, he says the album's shit. There's another one that comes free with an album where he basically, and even in the thing, he just says it was an experiment, just tried something different.
Yeah, no, I can get on board with stuff like that. You know, as long as if you're honest about it, then fair play. You tried it, didn't work, whatever. You know, it's in the history books and all that. But after the majesty that was, you know, we've come from Maiden, after the majesty that was Rime of the Ancient Mariner, to follow it up with this, it's just like the sublime and the ridiculous, really. Which is, it's sort of, the entire thing we're doing. This undertaking is there is some moments of absolute majesty, and then the next minute there's just fucking moments of like, what the fuck? And this is one of them moments, because there's all sorts involved in it, you know.
Yeah, so I'd give it like a 3, in all fairness. Like I say, I've been liking it in a kind of ironic It's not so bad. Like, I'm getting quite into this now, kind of way. Maybe if I found a cheap copy on CD, I'd pick it up just to put it in the collection, so it's like archive. But yeah. I think it's best everyone moves on.
Yeah.
So let's get another little thing out of the way while we're getting on it. Like I say, we've got
something he's equally as dismissive of as well, isn't he?
Yes, and rightfully so. In all fairness, everyone involved is dismissive of it, and I've just got the album cover here, the shit album cover.
Oh yeah, worse than the DiAnno one.
But fucking hell, look, there's a band coming out. Paul DiAnno.
Yeah.
Neil Murray on bass, who was in Whitesnake. He was on the later Black Sabbath albums.
Well,
yeah, with like Tony Martin era and that, which are good albums, by the way. Yannick Gers, who
White Spirit, and obviously Maiden, who we'll meet him later on.
We'll meet him later. Clive Burr on drums, and fucking Peter Willis.
Peter Willis from Def Leppard, mate.
Yeah,
off the first Def Leppard album. I mean, it was basically it was one of the first supergroups, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But
see, with me, I Def Leppard, I like the Pete Willis. In my eyes, that's when he left when Leopard went downhill.
They was proper AC/DC back then, weren't
they? They had the. I mean, High and Dry is my favourite album. Yeah. When they what did the album you see recently? Is it Hysteria?
Hysteria, yeah.
When they do High and Dry live, I'll come. I'll be there. But some songs on Pyromania are all right. But
yeah, that's when obviously they started really going. Splitting going from what they were to what they are now.
Photograph, I kind of reluctantly nod along to, but that's about it. After that,
but yeah, this is, the fucking backstory of this it's like something out of Sunday Sport. It's fucking supergroup put together by Jonathan King. And if people who actually watch this don't know who he is, he was a radio DJ and he talked about Disgraced.
Well, a bit more than
yeah.
He went on to be Disgraced, which is rightfully so, and we totally
convicted fucking
condemn him in every way,
scumbag.
But he was a pretty prolific, successful songwriter, producer. The amount of songs that are in the charts that he wrote, it's like fucking hell.
Yeah.
And but as shame so often in this
shame
industry,
he was a cunt.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, not shame really, but but yeah,
no, it's just why bad people do get talent as well, unfortunately, and they don't deserve it.
But this is fucking weird because obviously he wrote this in conjunction with a guy who used to collaborate with Kiss. What the fuck?
Well, the thing, I think this is later on in the 80s. Was it Stock, Waterman, and when they did it was Kylie Minogue was the one that really came out of it, but there was a bunch of artists. Rick Astley. Yeah. It was three of them, wasn't it? It was called
Stock, Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan King was that.
Oh, right.
He invented Axe and and he released a few songs as well, but it was always under a different name and under a different project. And he basically just went, let's get on this heavy metal thing. And this sounds exactly what it is. It sounds like heavy metal written by someone who doesn't
have a fucking clue.
Yeah. They've listened to heavy metal and gone, well, I can write that.
Yeah.
And it just sounds. The lineup is to die for.
Oh yeah.
Let's face it. I can't.
It is.
And pretty much everyone has said the record now. Don't get me wrong. All these supergroups are formed by record labels.
Oh, it comes
out. Unless it's down.
About that.
Yeah, unless it's down.
Yeah.
Which actually was the first Down formed before they all went on to be successful.
They fucking grew up together, didn't they? I try to imagine.
But you get it, don't you? You go, we've got Devon Townsend on guitar and fucking.
Yeah. You can make up a list, couldn't you?
Yeah, Rob Alford on vocals.
Fantasy football for fucking heavy metal music.
Gene Ogden on drums. And basically what happens is the record label goes, right, who's off this year? We had an album last year, so we've got an year off. Who's not on tour? Right, you and you. You're all free in April. Get together and write. In May, you're going to record an album. Now, every so often you get a good one, but generally speaking, this shit.
But the thing is with this, the fucking people they had in weren't even allowed to write anything.
And this is the thing, Oh, everyone pretty much says the record label thing. We're going to put a band together with you guys. Oh, fuck me, that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, if these five actually were allowed to write, you'd have a fucking pretty good EP.
Exactly. So they've gone, and this is the thing with record labels. They're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because you would just go, no, just let them write. This would be good, you know.
But I suppose you have to be happy with the fact that they didn't let them write, because if this had taken off, Yannick don't hook up with Bruce for Tattoo Millionaire and doesn't then replace Adrian in Maiden, and Maiden go a whole fucking different way.
I don't think there was any...
That's only 4 years. This is only 4 years before that.
Yeah, I don't think there was any danger of that happening, to be honest.
But if this had taken off, that's a lineup that's bankable. If they'd have been allowed to write, that's 5 talented musicians and writers there. That could have fucking gone on its own thing, and the landscape of metal is totally different.
But the thing is, as well, fucking sellout, dude. But it happens.
Yeah,
they could have gone right, but you are going to have a single done by him.
Yeah,
that's
the Kiss guy. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, but
put the album out.
That was with the biggest bands out, doesn't it?
Yeah. However many £100 advance, you're going to be on tour, but the first single is being released by That's the compromise. Don't tell me it don't happen.
Oh, of course it happens.
You know, and that would have been a good.
Well, it happened. Fucking case in point was fucking Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. They ditched all the fucking early shit, writing the groove metal, and the label come to them and said, right, well, you need a fucking single, and that's where Cemetery Gates come from. Because the label basically, that's why. Because if you listen to the live versions, Phil doesn't cane it, but he's never really supportive of the song because it wasn't what they were. I mean, they were heading towards fucking Primal Concrete Sledge and the legacy that came on.
Pieces of music ever written.
I know, but the label basically said, look, we need something a bit more accessible, and that's where Cemetery Gates came from. So sometimes that label interfering can work.
Oh, yeah, it can work as well. I mean,
the good thing about this is the label didn't force a songwriter on them. They said, right, you guys have got to do it. It forced them to think perhaps outside the box a bit. If they'd have said, right, here's fucking songwriter who wrote fucking Kylie Minogue's last hit single, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, no, I think when if the right person for the right reason intervenes, it normally works out for the thing. But when it's just some short-sighted pen pusher,
bollocks.
I mean, even on the Symbol Salvation album I mentioned last, there was a song that they didn't like. They wanted to drop. They just like, no, we're not putting that.
Yeah.
And the record label went, no, you fucking are putting it on the album. And if you don't put it on the album's not coming out. You can find someone else to put it out. And ended up being like a fan favourite. And I think the same was Rainbow in the Dark by Dio. Dio said I didn't like the song, it was too poppy. And everyone's like, no, it's a hit, trust me. Yeah. And he even went, thank God I was wrong.
That's it.
When I was wrong there, I'll admit that, and rightfully so. Like, don't listen to me, sort of thing. So,
what do I know?
Yeah. So that wasn't so bad.
Well, we haven't listened. We haven't fucking reviewed the songs yet.
Oh, fucking Gogmagog, is it even worth reviewing? A nonce wrote them.
You made me fucking do DiAnno. At least we can do another 3 songs of this shit.
All right, go on then.
Well, it's I Will Be There. This is the one written by the Kiss guy. Russ Ballard, his name is.
Yeah.
And it's immediately better than DiAnno. So Paul's redeemed himself almost straight away. That's not to say that he isn't a fucking steaming pile of shit. But it's much better than what came before it with DiAnno. But it's a substandard hard rock song. Yeah. And coming from a Kiss guy, it should be better, in my opinion.
It would probably be as well, and again, I don't know this, but I'm just sort of speculating, but these people will write 30 songs. It's quite a thing, man.
Yeah, they'll have a back catalogue of them, won't they? Like,
they literally write a song a day and just keep chucking them that direction. Eventually, you will get one in the net. That's generally.
I think that's what I'll go back to Bon Jovi. You Give Love a Bad Name was one of them.
Yeah,
Bon Jovi didn't even want it, And the record label and the songwriter, Desmond Child, he was like, nah, fucking have it. I wrote it for this other geezer, but it didn't really work. So you guys try it. And there you go.
It can work.
One of the most famous rock songs of all time.
Yeah, it can work both ways as well. There's that famous one, isn't it? That guy sold like 10 songs to a record label for like $1,000, which back then was some serious money. And I think 4 of them got used by Elvis.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but it was something along those lines. He ended up writing like 4 of the biggest known songs ever, and he got like paid $1,000.
Well, that's how fucking.
That's how it works.
That's how Lemmy made his fucking money, really. Yeah. Writing Ozzy's fucking biggest fucking ballads, which enabled him to go and do Motorhead, like to carry Motorhead on because he knew the money was coming in from the Ozzy shit.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously as well, it's fucking. But Dolly Parton's "I Will Always Love You."
Yeah.
She got Elvis wanted to use it. And she said, that's when I knew. No.
Yeah, I was on a winner,
Yeah, she went, well, if he wants it, I know it's going to be good, so I'm going to release it. And, but yeah, so I think that's basically what I'm saying. I think that person from Kiss, he probably wrote it.
Yeah, it was one of the fucking, like say, I churned it out at 2 o'clock in the morning and whatever.
Didn't even realise it was going to be used by them, is what I suspect. But,
yeah, man, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this when it goes down the pan from now because that's the last thing he wrote. The other shit's written by Jonathan King. Well, I mean, he tells as well, living in a fucking time warp. What a cunt. I mean, it's a fucking rip-off of 22 Acacia Avenue and Living After Midnight. It's basically fucking the cookie cutter, both songs together.
Yeah.
It's just the fuck off. Pile of shit. Like you said earlier, it's some geezer who thinks, oh, it's heavy metal's easy to write. I'll fucking do it. Fucking do one. Yeah. Nothing winds me up more than people who just don't respect the genre.
Yeah, it's just it reminds me of again how do I put it? If we was going to write a comedy, do you remember Bad News?
Yeah,
like the young ones, but a heavy metal. Yeah, it was. It's like something they'd put out.
Yeah.
It's like it's shit, but we know it's meant to be.
Do you know the thing about Bad News? Is apparently you had obviously that Spinal Tap and Bad News come out about the same time, didn't they?
Mm.
And Bad News actually played Donington in '88, I think it was, or '86 or '87, and they got bottled off stage. But apparently someone that it's gone down that people said that of all the mockumentaries, Bad News was the one that got it most spot on. From people in the industry who watched it, said Spinal Tap is quite off the mark. Bad News is fucking pretty much a cautionary tale of what it's like to be in a band.
Some of the rows. Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever seen the first one. I never saw the second one.
I think I've only actually heard the album. The album is the songs with like sketches in between.
Yeah. No, the first one I thought was pretty good.
Trying to do a register thingy. Are you here? Yeah. And such and such. Yeah. What? Are you here? Well, of course I'm fucking here. Just stuff like that. Oh, there's one where Aid, his character, loses it and walks out. He goes, "Oh, quick! Fuck all of you! I'm fucking leaving!" And then you hear the door slam, and then the door open again. He goes, "I hope you'll fucking die!"
Fucking hell, yeah, I've had them rounds.
Door slams again. Many a times.
Yeah, big time. Anyone who's been in a band will fucking know that argument.
Yeah.
So,
what's this one?
One more. Illegal. It's illegal. It's immoral. It's unhealthy, but it's fun. That's the soundtrack to that cunt's life, isn't it? Basically, let's be honest. Yeah. Fucking sick bastard. But I mean, it's fuck off. This is bollocks. Absolute bollocks. And
shit, I'm not even gonna.
No, I mean, I gave the guys from DiAnno fucking hard time over the shit they did, but that was positive. That was Operation Mindcrime compared to this, because this is fucking hideous, and everyone involved in it should be ashamed of themselves. Not so much the band members, because they obviously drew in, but the people who fucking wrote it and put it out, they fuck off.
Yeah, just you got the fucking people involved. They obviously weren't told. It was, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
All involved have said, hold on a minute, what do you mean we're not writing?
I'd like to think that the 5 of them got locked into a contract and then realised they fucked up.
Yeah.
I'd like to think the 5 of them would have had a bit more integrity than to do it, really.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much what had happened. It's well documented. That's the case. So it was case like just do it, put it out, and let's fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's stopping them forming their own band, by the way.
No, yeah, that's it.
But everyone was grabbed, really. Neil Murray's, like I say, when David Coverdale and Tony Iommi are ringing you up.
Yeah, you don't need this shit, do you?
Yeah, exactly. And you've got the chops as well.
Yeah.
Neither of them ever hired slouches. So
no, and obviously Yannick not long after would have made Bruce Dickinson's acquaintance. But if he didn't know him already from the time back in the 70s with White Spirit and that. So
that's quite interesting, actually. I'll have to look into that when actually the cross pollination.
I imagine they would have crossed paths because obviously Dickinson was from up north. When he was from Sheffield, I think, isn't he? And Yannick's from obviously Northumberland way. So I mean, they're not next to each other. I know that, but they're northern circles and southern circles. They run together, don't they? Obviously we're in North and South divide and all that. So I imagine they've crossed paths long before Tattoo Millionaire.
I thought Dickinson was from London somewhere.
No, he's
or did he move to London to go to university, and that's when he joined Samson? And oh right, so
yeah, he's from Sheffield way. There's lyrics to one of his songs on his solo album.
Yeah, I know the song.
Mining Town in '58.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah, and also on the live DVD they cover "Fog on the Tyne" for Yannick. So anyway, right.
So this is fucking. I gave DiAnno a 0. I've got to give this a fucking minus. It's fucking absolute 0 on the Kelvin fucking scale. It's just shit. Fucking.
I'd give it half a point for the riff in the first song. That that's pretty good.
That's it.
Apart from that, shit. But it had to be covered because it
did because it's in there. Yeah.
Because 2 ex-members and 1 future member. Yeah. It had to be.
Indeed. And next time, it's the good shit.
Yeah, it's all right. We're done now. It's over. So. And I still had fun. So, and we went off on a few fun tangents.
I'd never heard either of them. I'd known about them, but never heard either of them. So, I can say I've heard them now.
Yeah, exactly. No.
But yeah. Anyway, if you share this, you're mentally deranged because I wouldn't want to inflict this on anyone else this episode, really. But that's just me.
I'm not expecting this episode to be the one that sort of breaks the levee. We're building followers bit by bit, slowly but surely, and organically as well. Yeah, which I'm quite proud of. But
I think someone would be like, "Oh, let's see what because it's interesting. Let's see what their take."
Oh, there's a Maiden podcast and they're doing DiAnno. Brilliant. This would be good. So I'm not, but it is got to be in the canon. So
we're doing it. So we're doing it properly.
Right. Anyway, if you made it all the way through this, well done, and you must be sadder than us.
I can't believe we went a fucking hour on that shit. I mean,
well, we didn't really. I think you could probably just cut it down to 10 minutes. We was actually talking about the actual.
Spent less time talking about fucking killers, for fuck's sake. I mean, what's going on?
Well, because I was saying it was brilliant, and you were going, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, right. See you next week, folks. Next week.
Peace.
Somewhere in time.
Good shit. Yes.